Oh, there it is. Oh, it's peeking out. Oh.
Everybody is cheering. We have just made it to the end of totality. We're starting to see the sun just peeking.
Oh, it's pretty bright.
It's incredibly bright.
You could read by the light of the corona.
I think I would have some trouble reading, but I probably could. I could technically read something. So, Eric. Oh, and actually, we have the International Space Station flying over right now, so they are actually seeing not one, but two views of the eclipse. They're able to see not just the moon passing in front of the sun, but they're also able to see the shadow of the moon passing over Earth, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, I can hardly imagine a view being better than the one we have right now, but if there is one, it's
probably on the space station.
It's from the space station for sure. Wow. So yes, they're able to take some pictures of that, and that is just incredible. Just incredible.
One of the things they told people to do if you're far away was to hear how nature changed, and it was interesting here. We're of course surrounded by a lot of people, just to hear their reaction when we went into totality.
It's true that humans and nature have not gotten quieter, but louder, I would say. But I mean, you can definitely hear the loudness has a different kind of character to it. There's almost like a, I mean, I don't know if wonder has a sound, but I think this might be it. Yeah.
Hushed awe.
Yes, hushed awe. That's wonderful. And I can see just one little red, I guess, like protrusion coming down there.
Little red spots almost. I noticed those too.
That's cool. Now there are two.
Yeah.
Wow. That is just so cool.
Yeah, I like the 360 sunset. It's a little hard to see behind us, but it's.
Oh, we've got at least one or two drones.
Yeah, some. Our robot overlords.
Of course. And so, Eric, I know that, I mean, clearly with the drones, people are starting to get involved in the eclipse, and I know that there are lots of ways that people can actually get involved. One of those ways is with citizen science.
Right.
Do you mind talking about some of those opportunities, how people can actually...
Sure. We had citizen science programs where people could use their cell phones to take pictures during the eclipse. And
we're getting ready to come out of totality. We're just putting our glasses on.
And here we go. But oh, there it is. Oh, it's peeking out. Oh.
Everybody is cheering. We have just made it to the end of totality. We're starting to see the sun just peeking back out
amazing.
Again.
Now just look at the ground, how much brighter it's gotten.
It is already so much brighter. That is so wild. That was probably one of the most amazing, but also fastest 3 minutes of my life.
Yeah.
I wish I could do it all again.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was incredible. Incredible to get to experience that here in Holton. Thanks so much to the city of Holton, and also thank you so much, Dr. Smith, for coming out and hanging out with us and experiencing this wonderful event.
Oh, it was my pleasure, and congratulations to the city of Holton here for doing such an amazing job covering the eclipse. It was amazing how well orchestrated it was.
Above and beyond. Yeah. And I want to say, of course, a special thank you to photographer Dave Bowman, who has been giving us these incredible images from the telescope feed, and we're gonna enjoy as the rest of the eclipse kind of ends here, going back in the direction that it came, and with that, we're gonna send it back over to you, Megan.
Alrighty, thanks, Angelique. So, Gina, I mean, what do you think? Like, we literally have just watched the eclipse travel, what, about 2,600 miles?
It's going across
Mexico to Maine.
Yes.
In like, what, about 88 minutes?
That's right. It's
so
like
fast.
that 1,900 miles per hour that the shadow is traveling.
I mean, did you have a favorite location?
For me, I think between Russellville and Dallas, just getting to hear some of my colleagues and their excitement too, it was amazing.
Oh my goodness, yeah, no. So, I don't know, I have to be a little bit biased. We did have some cloud cover here,
we did.
But to see it with your real eyes was just...
And we had that moment, which was
We did, yes. It was amazing. And so it's really cool too, just to think about how millions of us now have this shared moment of what could be a once-in-a-lifetime event.
It's true.
And so, folks, we have time for some more questions from our viewers. And again, we have another great question from Mackenzie, who's in the 3rd grade.
Okay.
Let's roll it now.
My name is Mackenzie. I am in 3rd grade. My question is, what is the difference between a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse?
Thank you for that question, Mackenzie. Okay, let's talk about the difference between the eclipses. Now, the solar eclipse that we had today is when the moon crosses between the Earth and the sun. But we also get lunar eclipses, and a lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth crosses between the moon and the sun. So it's really about where the shadow's going. Today we have the moon shadow projecting on the Earth. During a lunar eclipse, we have the Earth shadow projecting onto the moon. So that's the main difference there.
That we just saw too, those incredible views from space,
That's
you
right,
know,
from
to
the
see
space
that
station.
second perspective view. And
Yeah.
so I've got another question for you right now. It's going to be Eli on Reddit, who wants to know, there are quite a few solar eclipses in the world every few years. So why is this one scientifically interesting?
Okay, so yeah, we do get solar eclipses and lunar eclipses maybe 2 to 3 times a year. However, the total eclipse that happens today, total eclipses are about every 1.5 years. And that is a rare opportunity for us to look at the corona, study the corona in a way that we can't do during the other types of solar eclipses that we have. So
And during a solar maximum.
Exactly, during the solar maximum. So for this one particular, you know, we were talking about the solar activity that we were seeing on the limbs during the totality. Yeah, there's just a bunch going on today for this eclipse.
And so too, right now we've got another incredible view.
Oh, look at that.
These are live views from space,
From the
which
space
is just
station.
mind-blowing in general. And now we're also to see the moon shadow across the Earth.
Wow.
It is just amazing. So, you know, Gina, too, thinking about how many people across North America today witnessed this one moment, it's a
Right.
good reminder that humanity has been experiencing these eclipses for centuries. And, you know, there are different meanings for these events in different cultures. Let's check in with Joy in Dallas to learn more about indigenous astronomy. Joy.
Hi, and welcome back to Dallas, Texas. I'm with Dr. David Begay. He's an indigenous astronomer and also a member of the Navajo Nation. David, thank you so much for joining us. So when people think about science, they might be thinking of Western science. So David, how does that relate to indigenous science, and what did the total eclipse mean to the Navajo people?
I think the knowledge on the eclipse goes way back. From time immemorial, I'm told by my elders. And they knew that when you look at the sun directly, you can damage your eyes permanently. And so they knew that about the danger of looking at the eclipse with the naked eye. So people were encouraged to go inside to ensure that people weren't looking up, especially the kids. So it goes way back. And as far as eclipses, it's a time of renewal, the sun alignment with the moon and also the earth alignment. The whole cosmic cycle goes through a regeneration process. It revitalizes the process. And so it's a gift that goes on. For many years, over and over. It's a cycle. And as far as science goes, there's different definition of science.
Thank you, David.
Maybe we can cover that.
Thank you. It's been an honor chatting with you. So thank you to everyone here for joining us. Thank you for the Arboretum for hosting us. For this very, very magical moment. This has been an experience of a lifetime, and one that I definitely won't forget. So let's head back to Tahira and Gina in Kerrville, Texas.
Thanks, Joy. We're joined now by Jamie Favors, the director of NASA's Space Weather Program, to tell us more about some cool science that launched today during the eclipse. Welcome, Jamie.
Thanks, Tahira.
Hey,
Thanks,
Jamie.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
And so can you tell us, why did NASA launch rockets before, during, and after the eclipse today?
Sure. So it's really to capitalize on this really unique situation. You know, things like this happen every day. You know, going from daylight to sunset into darkness. It happens so quickly that we can make these measurements one right after the next, to really understand very precisely what's going on in the atmosphere. With sounding rockets, we can do that so quick back to back, the way we can't do with some of the really large rockets.
Okay, so Jamie, how high did the rockets actually go, and what's special about this area of the atmosphere?
Sure, and we just launched the second of those three just a few moments ago, and that's going pretty well so far. Right about where the International Space Station flies, and before you ask, everything's safe, we take care of the...
And it looks like we've got a playback of that right now.
Oh,
wow.
Perfect.
Can you walk us through this?
Sure, so from Wallops Island out in Virginia, on the Virginia Space Coast, so these rockets have multiple stages to them, so you're seeing one stage burn for a few seconds, then that drops off, and then the next stage will light to eventually take it all the way up to about that 250-mile mark above the surface to make those measurements in the upper atmosphere.
Wow, that looks incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and so what is that area of the atmosphere, and why do we care about it?
Yes, it's the upper part of our atmosphere. It's called the ionosphere. That's really from a perspective of heliophysics, where we really see a lot of that interaction with the sun and the earth. We care about it because that interaction can change the way our GPS signals work, our communication signals work, and even up a little bit higher, we start to see the influence of the sun actually causing the atmosphere to change its density in a way that can impact the way satellites orbit the earth as well.
Sure, okay. Great.
And so, Jimmy, today we've been doing this fun poll, to see who is Team Sun, Moon, and Earth. What team are you repping today?
Well, other than Team Science.
Don't choose the wrong answer.
Well, my bosses would make sure I go for Team Sun today for sure.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, thank you so much again. Thanks, Jamie. And folks, it is time now to say goodbye to our friend, James Traley, who has made sure we've known where and when to look up all day. James, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tahira. It's been fantastic tracking this eclipse across North America all afternoon with you. If you're still in the path of totality, you might be in a boat somewhere off the Canadian coast taking this all in. I hope you enjoy that view, that fleeting moment. We've made a big journey across. I can zoom out here on our eclipse board. You can see we started all the way down here in Mazatlan, Mexico. We've trekked all the way across and are now, like I said, breezing past Canada now into the Atlantic Ocean. It's been fantastic to track this. And if I turn on the shadow of our penumbra, you can see this highlighted area. Anywhere in there is still experiencing a partial eclipse. So if you're in that partial eclipse area, be sure to have your eclipse glasses at the ready so you can take in that fleeting moment. We just went outside a few moments ago here at Kennedy Space Center to take it in. It's fantastic, beautiful view. It's really cool to see. You got like a little chunk out of the sun there for us here, only about 50% coverage, but still fantastic to see. So really, it's been phenomenal. We've lucked out in general with the weather all of today too. That was the biggest concern I had going into the day here. It's been beautiful views up and down here, and so really fantastic to see this. Really been a lot of fun tracking this with our Eclipse Explorer. A big thanks again to our scientific visualization studio for putting this tool together. But for now, back to you, Tahira.
And here with us now is NASA Chief Scientist, Dr. Kate Calvin. Kate, welcome.
Hi, Kate. Hi, nice to be here.
So happy to have you back here again. I know we had the pleasure of sharing the stage together for the annular eclipse.
Right.
Now, with today's total solar eclipse, can you tell our viewers what would you say is the #1 takeaway from today's events?
I would say the #1 takeaway is that our universe is beautiful and understandable. We all got to experience this together today. We could predict when it would happen, and we did a lot of science today.
That's great. So speaking of the science that was conducted, how does that fold into kind of the greater science that we're doing with NASA in the future?
Yeah, so we did a lot of science today, and a lot of it really complements science that we do all of the time. So one of the things we were really looking at today was the corona. The moon blocked out the sun so that we could see that part of the sun's atmosphere. But we also have a mission called Parker Solar Probe that's orbiting closer and closer to the sun so that we can study the corona with that. We were also looking a lot at how the eclipse affected Earth. So we had a citizen science project that looked at how the eclipse changed temperatures and clouds. We have a mission that launched 2 months ago that's studying clouds all the time, a mission called PACE.
Awesome.
It'll tell us more about oceans and atmosphere on here on Earth. And one of the other things we do is we develop instruments called a coronagraph. So the moon blocked out the sun today so that we could see that corona, but we can make an instrument that does that. And so we have an upcoming mission called Nancy Grace Roman that's going to block out the light of other stars so we can see what's flying in here around them.
Amazing.
So much going on for the sun at NASA, honestly.
Right.
And I understand that the Heliophysics Division has a big sun celebration going on right now, the Heliophysics Big Year. Kate, could you tell us how we could get involved in this and really just celebrate our star?
Yeah, this total solar eclipse was just one event in a series of this heliophysics big year, working towards Parker Solar Probe's closest approach to the sun. And we have a lot of activities where you can engage in our science and learn more about the sun. And if you want to know more, you can find us on social media at NASA Sun.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Kate, for being here with us. It was really special to share this moment with you.
Thanks, Kate. Nice to be here.
And Gina, this has been an honor. I mean, my goodness,
It has been.
to have the annular eclipse with you, then to share this total solar eclipse with you.
I know.
Thank you so much. And do you have any final thoughts?
You know, this was amazing. Annular was great, but to hear the energy here,
The
is
total was
so
just
great
a
to
whole
be with
nother level.
Both of you, you know.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And you know, a big thank you to the city of Kerrville, Texas, the Parks and Rec team, and all the people that made today's incredible event possible. I also want to thank our telescope operator Catherine Troach, for those great views of totality here in Kerrville. Folks, that is a wrap from Kerrville, Texas. Back to you in Cleveland.